So who is the I that's creating this world? If we're all one and we're not separate, what is creating and projecting this imagery that you experience? What's creating the separation? What's making it so that this form feels very solid and it feels very real, and the experiences that we're having are ones of limitation and separation? Anybody got any answers? Yes.
A spark of the divine.
A spark of the divine. That's a good way of putting it. In the picture that you see behind me, this is the best pictorial representation that I have found. There's another model that I'm going to show next. So this one's one of the best pictorial representations that I found of what you might know as the I Am presence, how it comes down out of light and into form that creates you. So, did we clap, by the way? No. Oh, we better start all over again. Let's clap! Yay! So we're talking about who is the I that's creating the world that you live in and that you experience if we're all one, and where is that coming from? Where is the projection coming from? So I'm going to show you two different models to give you a little pictorial representation. This first one is a more spiritual model and the second one is a more scientific model. So this is the I Am presence. Are any of you familiar with the I Am presence artwork? The idea being that all of those spokes that are coming out there are the creative principle, and all of the rings that are around it there, that would be what we would call consciousness or the unified field. And as those spokes come out, there is a higher self, a soul, and then the human body. It's degrading down into form, and then we've got lots of different individuations of the one. So if we look at it, that this is the unified field with the creator coming through, and then there's all of these individuations. So here's where we get into a little bit of problem. If we go, oh, you're creating the world, so I can behave really badly towards you because you're creating it, right? That's separation, because it's a lack of responsibility. But we can do that if we start thinking that this person here is creating the world they see with the thoughts they think. And if there is another individuation here, it's like, no, that person's creating the world. That person's responsible for the experiences that we have. And then all of a sudden we get these people fighting each other to go, well, who's creating this? It's your responsibility. No, it's my responsibility. And that's Act 1. That's what we're living in right now. So what we want to be doing is starting to take responsibility for the whole, since we are all one, and we are, it's kind of like a holistic oneness is what I'm pointing to, rather than a separate. So this isn't one with this individuation, and it's not one with this individuation or that one or that one. It's one, period. So there's no such thing as co-creation. It doesn't exist, only in our language. This is the one creator, and this is the one maker or projector of the imagery that we're living in, and it's projecting it because it decided to have an experience opposite from itself, to go, oh, what would it be like if we did this? If I did this, excuse me. What would it be like if I had this experience that I was something opposite from myself? So there are many aspects of the one consciousness, and I just find it a lot easier to have a look to look at it from this perspective of everything that I see outside of me that appear to be separate bodies are nothing but aspects of my one true self. So everything that you see outside of you and the separate bodies that you see are aspects of your one true self. That one true self up there. So how is the matrix constructed then? Like, we're living in a matrix, right? How is this constructed? What's it made up of? What's it constructed of? Here's another spiritual model that I really like. Remember I said there is this creative principle that's coming through the unified field, that's coming through the quarks, coming through the atoms, coming through the cells of your body, and then coming up into the body, into your awareness and all of the space around you. So this is like a really cool diagram of that. So it's coming out from within you, but it's actually coming from all around you as well, because atoms exist in space, not just in bodies and not just in separate bodies. So it's coming from within and without and all around, because remember, Omniverse is holographic. It's not linear, and these models are just helpful for us, but they're not true models because it's a flat surface. And this is the best we can do with our experience at the time. So the idea being, in Act 1, Scene 1, you live the limited life and you die. In Act 2, you begin to go, hang on a second, something's wrong with this picture. Something's wrong here, and you begin the awakening process to start transitioning into Act 2. So this is another model which is really cool. This comes from Robert Schinfeld, and if you've not read his book, Breaking Loose of the Money Game, I highly recommend that you do it. And if you're in business, Breaking Loose of the Business Game. Is it Breaking Loose? Yeah, I think so. Busting Loose of the Business Game, Busting Loose of the Money Game, excuse me. So this is the model that he uses. Consciousness, unified field. The spokes, the creator, coming through the consciousness, had made a decision to experience itself opposite from itself. So it projected out patterns and holograms and all sorts of different templates here that carried forth information that would allow this to occur and project this out according to patterns of limitation, separation and control. So here we are, having this experience of thinking that this is our reality, but behind us, around us, through us, in us, everywhere is this hologram going all the way back to consciousness. So it's all very well to say, oh, I'm creating the world from here, and that's definitely a step. We're going to start there. We're going to start with this because this is what we're aware of. But the actual projection is happening from here. So that means we need to start getting to know ourselves, connecting to our one true self, connecting to the creator, the source of us, and stop thinking of ourselves as these limiting bodies. Don't really need to go into this. This is just really like the hologram is tightening control everywhere around us. It's just getting weird. But then there's light busting through because everything is light and there's enough consciousness on the planet that that's reversing. So what the hell were we thinking? Well, we're just thinking, we're creative, because here's the thing that happens in a lot of spiritual practices. It's like, if this isn't real, if this is an illusion, then I want to get out of here. But here's the problem you have. Say you get out, say you go back home, say you come back into consciousness, you've got this creative principle that's coming through you each and every minute, nanosecond, and it's going to give you a drive to create. So you're going to create something. Right? So even if we go, okay, great, let's wipe out the form and we won't have this world anymore, well, we'll have what? Because you're a creator. You need to be creating because that pulse is coming through you. Which brings me to how do we get out of here? And how we get out of here, first of all, is by disassociating from collective consciousness beliefs, unplugging ourselves from the matrix. If you can see through the illusion, you're part of the solution, you're starting to dissolve it. And seeing matter is only potential. See the situation that's going on with the council is only potential. See their threats and the outcomes of their threats is only potential. That's only one potential outcome. Remember, the observer and the observed are not separate. So you have a council and you're observing it. If you go into separation with it, then you're going to be in conflict. So you begin to see that I can change the reality of what is going to be the outcome just by observing it differently. And the first place to start is by taking full and complete responsibility for creating the limiting situation in the first place, creating a council that limits you. You created that. Why did you create that? Because you wanted to experience limitation and control and forget who you were and forget that you're a creator. Okay, now I've done that, I don't want to do that anymore. Great, then make the decision not to experience yourself as limitation anymore. Make the decision to experience yourself as the infinite being that you are. Because matter is only potential for consciousness to choose from. There is no such thing as objective reality. We've done that. Who's heard of the story of the 100th monkey? So the 100th monkey is a story. It's an idea that exists in Act 1. Act 1, Scene 1, where we don't really know who we are and we think there's a whole lot of separate beings out there with separate minds and we're all co-creating. So the idea of the 100th monkey was a scientific experiment that was done where monkeys were given potatoes to see what they did, and they were dirty. One female monkey picked up the potato, took it down to the ocean and wiped the dirt off it before eating it. And then she was ridiculed, of course, and the tribe, thought that she was absolutely wackadoodle, and she kept doing it. As soon as something happened, which they call critical mass, the crowd, one by one, monkeys started cleaning their potatoes and eating their potatoes until they created critical mass. At the precise moment they created critical mass simultaneously on another island, the monkeys were doing the exact same thing. We know how that happens now, don't we? How does that happen? Yell it out loudly.
Morphogenic field.
Morphogenic field, yeah, but specifically, how does that happen? How does simultaneous communication happen across distance? Electrons, exactly, through the electrons. Great. So that's the power that we know of as collective consciousness. What we're calling collective consciousness. Collective consciousness, or the collective lowest common denominator where we're at as a tribe, is what we end up experiencing in Act 1. In Act 1, there's evidence of collective consciousness shifting, and then the world shifts. The first one that I've got up there is that it was deemed to be evil to read books that weren't Christian, and so you get killed and burnt at the stake if you were to educate yourself in anything other than Christianity. As soon as that became popular, critical mass happened, we stopped burning books, and then we can read whatever we want these days. The next one's the revolution, the idea that I am created equal, and that started bursting apart the aristocracy. The next one's slavery, it's okay to enslave a man. Critical mass went, no, it's not okay, and let's shift that. And so, we shifted our world reality. Children needed to go to work because nobody could afford to eat. So we had to send the kids to work, and we go, yeah, that's okay. And then all of a sudden, critical mass hits and go, no, that's not okay. We need the kids to be learning and just being kids. Women's rights movement, women were tortured, beaten, raped. Some of them were even killed because they stood up and said, I want to vote so that I can have some kind of say in how you rule me. And critical mass was such that was a ridiculous idea, but then it flipped. Critical mass says, well, why shouldn't women vote? And then the world changed. And at the moment, we've got the critical mass movement, money talks, 99% walks. That is the common belief that we have right now. Money talks. How many of you have heard that statement? So if we believe that, if we say that, if we give power to that, then of course that is the reality that we're going to have, but that's flipping. Make sense? So we are at the precipice of the next critical mass movement, where it's just going to pop. But what I would like to say to you, past that, is that collectively, yes, we have the power to shift things just by shifting our consciousness, and we're going to do a little bit of exercise in that in just a minute. But we also have this thing called the power of two, right? In Act 1, we've got this idea that two people get together and agree on something, and then it can be so. And what happened with me with Facebook in my business, I was advertising with Facebook, and I was just right into the Facebook conspiracy, CIA, all this kind of thing. It's against small businesses. You need a big budget for Facebook to support you. And I had this huge story going on, and a lot of people in my industry had that same story going on. And then I got together with a friend of mine who's into the same sorts of things as I am, and I said, we need to observe this differently. We need to observe it, that Facebook loves small business, that Facebook wants to help small business, that Facebook is just out there to just make sure that everybody's making money, not just the big guys. So we get together and we start observing. Within 48 hours, I open my Facebook page and I have this letter that says, Nicola, thank you. There are now more than 2 million active advertisers on Facebook, and we have just 2 words to say to you. Thank you. We're going to keep working to serve you better so you can continue creating jobs and opportunities in your community and moving the entire world forward. Mark Zuckerberg. Clap! 48 hours. That's pretty astounding. That's the power of 2. Here's the power of 1. Has anybody seen that thing floating around with, what's his name, Bill Gates? And there's a clip of him saying something about eugenics and about, overpopulation, and that if we don't vaccinate and do all sorts of things, there's people that are saying there's this conspiracy that Bill Gates is into killing everybody off to lower the population through vaccination. Who's seen all of that stuff? Oh, so you're very familiar. There's an idea out there that Bill Gates, believes that is true. So I did my quantum activism and I started saying, hey Bill, you're just an aspect of myself and I don't want to believe that anymore. I don't want to think that anymore. It's not even true. And I started talking to him and I started illuminating him. I started sending photons his way. I started thinking about what was going out in the electrons towards him to get him to have an awakening experience. And this is what he said. I'm not quite sure exactly when this was, but it's very recently. In an interview, you can see this on YouTube, in an interview with Jimmy Fallon saying, yeah, but you used to believe in this. They're talking about the idea of enforced sterilisation to depopulate. And that if we had better health, we'd be overpopulated, right? And he's going, but you used to believe it. And this is a quote that I quoted from him from the video. Fortunately, that was very wrong. Better crops and improving health meant that women choose voluntarily to have smaller families. So he no longer believes in eugenics and forced sterilisation. And that's just me. So what can you do? So we have this idea, collective consciousness to change the world, and it's like, yeah, but the power of 1. You can be doing this. You can be observing differently and just speaking and sending information out through those electrons of yours. Margaret Mead, remember, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only way it ever has. How many of you are now starting to feel the power that you have within you to create a dramatically different scene too? Hands up. Don't waste your thinking. Don't waste it. Because you have the power to choose to observe a different possibility. So we're going to get started. Shall we focus on what? Chemtrails, GMOs, the council? What would you like to focus on first? The council. Okay, cool. So this is how it goes. The council are you, and you have created it that they are forcing you to comply to a set of rules because they believe that rules are more important than community and freedom. Correct? So, since everything comes down to belief, what are you believing that is creating this situation? Call it out. What are you believing? The council has power over me. Yep. Say that out loud, everybody. How does that feel in your body? Great. So this is what we're going to do with it. We're going to take it to light. Okay? This belief and anything like it, I do not want. This belief and everything like it, I do not want. I now allow it to dissolve. It no longer serves me. I now allow it to dissolve in the light of my mind into the nothing from where it came. And I want you to imagine that yucky feeling coming up into your soul star, which is a little ball of light just above your head, and I want you to imagine it dissolving. Imagine the emotion dissolving, the belief dissolving. Authorities have power over me, that belief dissolving, any beliefs that are attached to it dissolving, 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 dissolving. Okay, what do you feel now?
Light.
Light. Lighter, yeah, because you've just gone to light. Okay, so imagine the council coming to you and telling you, you've got to pull this back, right? You've got to take your gardens down. You've got to pull this down and you've got to comply. What are you feeling now?
Depressed.
Pardon? It's a bit of a joke, yeah, what else? Nothing? You're feeling nothing? Happy? Heavy. You're still feeling heavy. Great. Go to the heaviness. Why are you feeling heavy? What's a burden? Rules? Okay, everybody, I want you to repeat this and feel what's going on in your body. Rules are a burden. I don't want to have to deal with rules. That rules are a burden. How many of you are feeling a physical constriction? Okay. Okay. People rule over me. Say that one. How does that feel? Heavy. You're feeling heavy. Okay, cool. Let's do that one. Let's lift that one up. People rule over me. Authorities rule over me. Connecting with that energy, connecting with all of the beliefs that are like it, and I want you to say out aloud, these beliefs I do not want. They no longer serve me. I now allow them to dissolve in the light of my mind into the nothing from where they came. The council doesn't understand me. The council doesn't understand. How's that feeling? Does it feel suppressed? True? Feels true? Okay. So what are the beliefs that are going on about the council? What are they? Yell it out loud. They're superior. The council are superior. The council have power. The council, they misunderstand. Yes. Council is separate. The council don't listen.
They're stupid.
Okay. How about this one? Authorities don't care about me. Say that one out aloud. Authorities don't care about me. How does that feel? Close your eyes. I want you to feel, because when we get that feeling, that's the inversion of your power, and we need to release that power. So for this to be successful, you need to connect with the emotion. The authorities don't care about my freedom. The authorities want to control me. How's that feeling? Feeling a contraction? For those of you that are feeling heavy from all of the things I'm saying, let's gather all of that up, and for the rest of you, just do it anyway, just to help them. These beliefs I do not want. They no longer serve me. I allow them to dissolve in the light of my mind into the nothing from where they came. Up here in the soul star. So this is the process of constantly going. That out there is doing something to me. The reversal is I'm doing that to myself. What am I believing that's creating the magnetism for that to behave that way? Connecting with the emotion and then dissolving it. Up here, it's faster. Right? And you just keep doing that. And as you do that, you're actually unplugging yourself from the collective conscious matrix. One of the biggest collective consciousness beliefs that we have right now, which is why we have governments that are really suppressive, is that some people need to be governed. How many people believe that there are people out there that need to be governed? Because if they weren't governed, we'd be chaos. No, that we need to be governed. Some form of governance, whether it's a council of elders or whether it's a... See, because while we hold thoughts of some people out there needing to be governed, you will be governed. While you have thoughts that there are criminals out there that you need protecting from, you will have a protection force. And because you're here to experience limitation and control, that protection force can turn against you at any moment. You're starting to get this? It's like that... patterns of ideas, beliefs, matrices that are projected out, and then you have that experience. So we're reversing it. You just start reversing it by starting with where is it that you are most upset, connecting to the emotion, connecting to the belief, and dissolving it. That's step one. Step two is actually stepping into your full power, but that takes a bit of a explaining. What else? When you think of turning to the council, what do you want to say to them now? Leave me alone. Okay, great. So leave me alone is good. That's because there's charge on that. Okay, so say this sentence out loud, everybody. People don't leave me alone. How does that feel? I feel attacked. Hands up if you feel any charge on that one. I feel attacked. I am under attack. My freedom is under attack. My livelihood is under attack. So none of you feel attacked? A few of you. Okay, cool. Let's gather all that energy up. Let's gather all those thoughts up, and for those of you who don't feel this, do this anyway, just as a service. Gathering it all up, we go, these beliefs I do not want. Spirit, I want you to connect to every single belief that's attached to it, every synonym belief, everything that is part of this matrix of experiencing something out of our control, controlling us. All of those beliefs. Gather them all up. Everybody say this out loud really emphatically. These beliefs I do not want. They no longer serve me. I now allow them to dissolve in the light of my mind into the nothing from where they came. I choose to believe instead, universe abhors a vacuum, so you create a vacuum. You've got to choose to believe instead. I choose to believe the council are my friends. I choose to believe that the council men and women are my friends. I choose to believe that the council men and women are enlightened. I choose to believe that the council men and women are supportive of my dreams. I choose to believe that the council men and women are only there to take care of my highest good. I choose to believe that all of these ideas also extend to those they send and all the authorities they send that represent them. I choose to believe that anybody that the council men and women send on their behalf have the exact same experience as the council men and women. They are my friends. They support me in what I'm doing. They support me with my dreams. They are open to peaceful resolution. They see the big vision of what we're doing. They love the big vision of what we're doing. And they support us. They support me. We come together peacefully to create great resolutions where everybody is happy. The degree to which you believe that energetically and have conviction that that is true is the degree to which that will be your experience. So, yay? You're all like, and it needs energy. What happens to electrons when you apply energy? Goes to light, right? It orbits and it goes to light. So if you're going, I cancel my friends, they really support my dream. You do your affirmations, I love and appreciate myself, love and appreciate myself. There is no energy, so there's no light. That's why I say, come in emphatically. These beliefs I do not want, they no longer serve me. I choose to believe instead and get the energy up, because it's the energy and the consciousness together that creates the shift. Does that make sense? Okay. Who wants to enlighten an entity? Who wants to have a go at enlightening an entity? What is the source of the need to enforce rules? What do you think the source is, Shane? Because they want to have what? They want to have control. There are people that want to control. Repeat that for me. There are people that want to have control. Okay? There are people that want to have control. Repeat it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, how does that feel in your body? There are aliens that want to have control. There are entities that want to have control. There are entities that are out there controlling everything. Pardon? Yeah, okay. It is a scary thought, absolutely. I think it's good. I tell you, do you want me to tell you where the source is? Is that me? Oh. Everybody read that? It is an idea of limitation. It's an idea of control. It's an idea. It's just an idea. How it filters through the patterns and comes here, whether it's from entities, whether it's from aliens, whether it's from other people, whether it's from the Illuminati, it comes down and as an Agenda 21, an agenda to depopulate. But basically, it's an idea that you can be destroyed and that you can destroy. That's where it comes from. When you fully understand and get it, that that is not possible, that story will cease to play out. You want to have a go at Agenda 21 today? Yeah? Okay. So there are matrices and matrices and matrices of beliefs here, because if you have a look at our ancestral background, and most of us have all come from backgrounds where there has been rape, loot, pillage, wars and what have you, there is this feeling or thought in consciousness, somebody's out to get me, somebody's going to kill me, they're going to, I'm going to get killed, if I step up and do this, I'm going to get killed, all of that. And that is what's creating it. So we have to wipe out our ancestral memory, wipe out our ancestral belief, so we can start punching a hole in this projector that's projecting out an idea that you can actually destroy yourself. Because remember, whatever or whoever we've projected outside of ourselves that has the idea of Agenda 21 or has the idea of destruction is what? An aspect of you, right? If it's an aspect of you and you can communicate to it simultaneously via your electrons and via your thinking, how fast can we dismantle that? Do you want to have a go? Who doesn't want to have a go? Doesn't. Okay, let's give it a go. Okay. Something's out to get me. I want you to close your eyes on this one. So can we have quiet and have the support from the angels in the background there? So here's the deal. We want you to be feeling and thinking and tuning in to the sensations in your body. That is the key, because that's where the power has been locked up. So when you feel a tightening, when you feel a block, when you feel emotionally ick, that is you going, I'm not an infinite being, I'm a victim. So that is you experiencing the opposite of yourself, which is perfect. It means you're on track, because that's why you're here, until you wake up and go, I don't want to play that game anymore. So everybody, invite you to close your eyes, listen to your body. When I say this statement, I want you to repeat it and listen to what's going on in the body. If you feel some kind of sensation or a yuck feeling or a constriction, I want you to raise your hand high, like very high, so I can see it. They're out to get me. Raise your hand if you feel something. They're out to get me. They're out to kill me. They're trying to kill me. They're trying to kill me. Hands up when you feel something. I'm being killed. I'm being assaulted. Okay, we're just going to take that layer up. I want you to gather up that layer of energy and all of those beliefs. Spirit, we want you to collect all of the beliefs that are like it, synonyms to it. And we're going to say emphatically, these beliefs I do not want. They no longer serve me. I now allow them to dissolve in the light of my mind. Taking it up to your soul star just above your head. You can put your hands down now. Dissolving into the nothing from where it came. Dissolving. Dissolving. Going, 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 gone. I choose to believe instead. Everything I've created is here to support me. Everything that exists leans forward to support me. Angels hover all around, supporting me each step of the way. No arrow against me shall prosper, but I will prosper. I am an infinite being, creating my own reality. The reality I choose to create. Everything is supporting me. Everything is loving me. Everything is helping me. Everything is serving me. Drippy in paradise. Can't complain though, can we? Not allowed to complain about paradise. Who's feeling lighter? Who's feeling more powerful? Who still believes there's something out there trying to kill you? How about chemtrails? Are they trying to kill you? What are chemtrails doing? They're sprinkling love dust? Awesome. What about GMOs? Are they out to kill you? Okay. Here's the next layer. Can an infinite being die? Can an infinite being be destroyed? So what would be destroyed if there was this thing called Agenda 21 that was destroying you?
An idea.
An idea, absolutely, yeah. Because what is the body? The body's an idea. Okay. Okay, I feel like there's another layer because this is big. Do you want to keep going? Okay. What are we feeling? Who's feeling a little bit of tightness, a bit of yuck, a bit of constriction in the body? Tell me about it. You're feeling it in here? What is that? If you go into that, what is it? Okay, great. Afraid of your smallness. Okay, I want you to complete these sentences for me, and you're all going to have a different answer. I'm afraid that. Complete it. What are you afraid of? I'm afraid that I won't be loved. I'm afraid that I can't evolve. I'm afraid that.
I'll be lonely.
What was that? I'm afraid that I won't fulfill my potential. Why won't you fulfill your potential?
You will. You are.
No, but why wouldn't you? Like what's there? What's the belief that's there? Okay, because this is a true thing, and this is something that Marianne Williamson said when she wrote that speech for Nelson Mandela. Like, it's not failure that we fear, and it's not the littleness that we fear. We fear our magnitude. We fear success, right? We fear being big. We fear being the big person that we are. So, let me get rid of the drips in paradise. Okay, complete the sentence for me. If I am my true self, I'm afraid what will happen? Okay, let me just connect in. Do I all have permission to connect into you via my subconscious mind to the collective conscious? Anybody not agree, put their hand up. Okay. Okay, it's not possible. Put your hands up when you feel some kind of a magnetic charge when I'm saying this. It's not possible for me to be my true self. Say it. If I am my true self, I'll be slaughtered. Okay, if I am my true self, I'll be burnt at the stake. Listening to your body, putting your hand up if you've got a charge. I need to know the numbers on this. If I am my true self, I will be annihilated. Great. Okay, gather all of that up. Spirit, these beliefs, come on, gather that up. These beliefs I do not want. Come on, these beliefs I do not want. They no longer serve me. Take that energy up, bring it up to your soul star. I now allow them to dissolve in the light of my mind into the nothing from where they came. Dissolving. This is a big shift for you. This is going to be a big shift in your profession, right? Dissolve it. Keep going until you're light. Keep going until you're laughing. Dissolve it. Repeat it. These beliefs I do not want. They no longer serve me. I now allow them to dissolve in the light of my mind. Bringing it up into your soul star, seeing it dissolving into the nothing from where it came. I choose to believe instead. I, who am an infinite being, no longer choose to have aspects of myself attack me. All aspects of myself now love and support me. I am free to shine, the big being that I am. The more I shine, the more people love. The bigger I shine, the more healing takes place on the planet. The bigger I am, the more comfortable I am. I am comfortable being in my big infinite being self. There is nothing out there but me. I can be hurt only by my thoughts. From this day forward, I choose beautiful thoughts, loving thoughts, thoughts that create love. I am comfortable in my power. How are we doing? Who's feeling lighter? Beautiful. You're going to have an amazing week this week. What is it that you do? You're an artist?
Yeah, I'm not going to call myself an artist yet, but I think maybe.
You're an artist? What are you? Beautiful. So it's time for you to shine. It's time for all of us to shine, because by showing the council, by showing everybody this beautiful love and light that's occurring and the awakening that's occurring in us, it becomes infectious, does it not? What's happening in the Illuminati? Yell it out aloud. Magic, love and light. According to Dom and what's his name, an existential crisis. They're waking up. So all we're doing is consciously speeding it up by participating in the meltdown and the awakening, rather than going, oh my goodness, this is big black bear out there that's coming to get me. Yeah. This is a daily practice. Remember I said habits, daily habits? This was a habit of mine that I did daily. I still do it every morning, and I still do it every night. I check in with my emotional triggers. I go, okay, what's going on here? And I deal with them and then dissolve them. And as I do that, I'm becoming more and more myself. I'm becoming more and more into my creative self. And as I've shown you, really cool shit really begins to happen. And this is just fun. I'm just doing this. This is fun, right? Fun. Want to go after Indonesia?
Yes.
Okay. Let's have some ideas about what are the beliefs that are stopping President Widodo from granting clemency. I can't grant clemency. Pardon? Pride. Okay, what's the belief? I won't be seen as the big tough fellow. I'll lose my power. I'll be seen as weak. That's it there. I just connected to it. Did you connect with that? Okay, great. So let's see if we can connect to President Widodo in our bodies. Why can we connect to him in our bodies? He's part of us. We've got some electrons that have come into us because we've just had that thought, and he's got our electrons, right? So we can connect here in the solar plexus. They say that the seat of the subconscious mind, which is the doorway into your collective consciousness, sits here at the top of the ganglion of nerves, which is why you have a gut feeling. It's because there's nerves there. That's the doorway to the subconscious mind. So that's kind of like why I tap here and I'm pointing here. So I will be perceived as weak if I cave in. That's the belief. What was the other belief? Right, yeah, we're looking at the belief. I will be perceived as weak. I can't give in because I will lose my power. I will lose my power if I give in. Okay, so I'm going to pull up a whole lot of beliefs. What's going on for you? Yeah, good. So we want to get the beliefs. We want to pull them all up. I have to save face. I can't give in now. I'm going to look like an idiot if I give in now. Right? I'm not going to be taken seriously if I give in now. We're going after the decision makers. You can bypass the whole story by going straight to the decision making. I get that I can't turn back now, otherwise I'll lose face, I'll lose power, I'll lose my position, I won't be seen as a strong leader, I won't be seen as a strong leader. Yeah? I won't be seen as a strong leader. I'll be perceived as being very weak. Nobody will take me seriously anymore. I will lose my power. So it's fear of loss of power. So let's gather all that up for those of you that are feeling energy in the body. Gather it all up. If you're not, just imagine it anyway. You're gathering up all of that fear in President Widodo and every decision maker in this process of granting clemency. And we're going to go, you know what, these beliefs I do not want. They no longer serve me. I allow them to dissolve in the light of my mind into the nothing from where they came. I choose to believe instead the whole world will love me when I grant clemency. I am now an awakened being. And I can now see the real cause of this issue. And I dismiss it as nonsense. I'm really excited about being able to grant clemency. I am going to be perceived as a powerful, compassionate man when I grant clemency. I can't wait to demonstrate that I am a powerful and compassionate man. I am going to be seen as a world leader because I grant clemency. I am leading the way. I am perceived as being powerful because I'm coming from my infinite power to love and forgive. And there's no greater power than love. I can't wait. Photos away there. How are we doing? Yeah, nice. Let's give ourselves a clap. For those of you who weren't here this morning, this story of what's going on in Indonesia has really captured me, and I have been practicing quantum activism almost on a daily basis. And every single time I go into the meditation and I send my electrons out of forgiveness and clemency and bright ideas of how that we can make this happen and what have you, I turn the radio on and I hear that the decision is being put off. And if you know, yesterday the decision's been put off for yet another week. So I believed in all my heart of hearts that half of the reason, or the biggest reason, or the reason why it got put off for a week was because we were meeting today. Yeah. What are we going to go after next?
Let's pre-plan our celebration when it comes on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely the practice, like being in the practice of doing it. But when you're in the conviction of it, you don't need to practice it anymore. So you've got to practice until you're in the conviction, and when you're in the conviction, you don't need to practice. So does that make sense? It kind of goes around in a circle. Yeah. Because electrons, remember, are part of the dream as well, because it's part of form, and that's why we can move them. And because what matter exists only as what? Potential? And we're changing the potential, right? Matter exists only as potential, and it's coming from this power here. So we are going to have a break. The next part of this whole thing is transitioning into Act 2, because in Act 1 it just gets worse. You've heard this idea that we're going into the fifth dimension or a new earth or what have you, and we want to do that because we don't want to stay in that other game. We don't want to worry about what that residual looks like, because it will catch up. Like, eventually it will catch up. All we're concerned about is our own personal individual transition. The Dalai Lama said, when you think everything is someone else's fault, you will suffer a lot. When you realize that everything springs only from yourself, you will learn to be at peace and joy. So the transition is full and complete responsibility for any responses, reactions, and emotional triggers you have. So, for instance, if you yelled out to me, Nicola, you're a shithead, right? I'm just using really grotesque examples here. And all of a sudden, thanks. And all of a sudden, I went, I have a choice, right? So matter only exists as a potential. I could choose to respond by going, my God, what's happened to you? I'm so sorry. How have you been wounded? Or, like, I could choose to respond that way, because it doesn't mean anything. Whatever she says about me has got nothing to do with me. It's got to do with what's going on inside of her. Or I could choose to respond, oh my God, you're right, I am a shithead. Because I will have a backlog of people telling me that, or parents or school teachers, what have you. So now I'm triggered. Now I can blame you for causing that in me, or I could bless you for allowing me to feel it again so I can free myself. And I choose to bless you, to go, gee, thanks, aspect of myself, for pointing that limitation out in me, because now I'm going to free myself from that. I didn't even realize I had that thought about myself. So thank you, and now I'm going to do the work. This belief, I do not want it, no longer serves me. I now allow it to dissolve in the light of my mind into the nothing from where it came. I choose to believe instead I'm an infinite being, and yada, yada, yada. Got it? Okay, tea break. We'll be back in 5 minutes, and we'll just do some more stuff. Is this fun? Yes. Cool.